Okay, now need to talk about um the aggregate function, right? So this aggregate function will help you a lot um in doing especially when you are doing your summations, right? So what is the aggregate function? The aggregate function, um just like that, drop down. Okay, so um we'll do basic calculations like the sum, the average, the max, the mean, using the what? The aggregate function. Okay. Um, Let me go down. Let me go to the bottom of this one. The bottom of this data. So just to control, page down. I'm at the bottom of the what? Of this um data set. Okay. Well, for 10,001 rows. Okay. So I want to do the sum. Okay, I want to add what is the dot of column column E. So if I do like that, I click on this column, you find that the total is 198,464.67. Right. So let me do it. Equals sum tab. The number is the range. So if I click on this in this cell, I do control up or control shift and then uh, page up, and then I still hold the shift and then do one step down and then press enter. If I try to format find that that's my what? Uh, my sum there. Okay, let me type here 198,464.6.67. Right. So let me also format that. Let me format it. Uh, okay, let me format that way. Right. So um the sum using the sum function, this is the dot I'm getting. Right. Okay. Um what will happen if I format or rather I filter this data? Will my sum change? Let me see. Control up, and then I want to filter this data. What I'll do is there are two ways. Either if you want to filter, you can uh, go to the home tab, and then here you select filter. Automatically, you can what? It has given us the filter fields, right? So you can select here. Let's say I want to filter. I want maths only. So you can see it's only maths there. Okay. So I'll create that filter, and also if I go to the filter again, ribbon again, and then click on filter, you find that the filter has what? Has disappeared. So there's another shortcut key using the keyboard keys to do filter. So just do Control Shift L. You get your filter there. All right. So let me filter. I just want the results for computer science. So I'll unfilter everything and only select what? Computer science. Right. Once I've selected that, I'll just do Control page down to go to the bottom of my data. You find that I have filtered. I'm only remaining with computer science, but my sum is still what? Still 198,000. To know that it is still 108,000, I I had coded, I wrote here the sum, which is the same as this one, right? So how do you navigate around this problem whereby uh, when you filter data, the sum you get should only be only for the what? For the filtered data, right? So let's do it. I'll just do control up, clear filter, and then I'll go to, okay, control page down to go to the bottom of my data. So here, what I'll do is, I'll do the aggregate function. Okay, aggregate function, right? So what will this aggregate function do? So let's say, let's look at the how it works. So I'll say equals aggregate. So it has come, you do tab. The first argument will be to select what do we want to do? Do we want to sum or do we want to find the average of this column E? So in our case, we want to find the what? The sum. So you go down up to the sum, right? And select the sum, double click, and then do comma. Then there are these options. You ignore nothing, you ignore hidden rows. If there are rows we have hidden, the formula will automatically ignore those rows. Okay, ignore error values. If there are errors, it also ignore hidden rows and error values. And then here we say ignore hidden rows, um, error values, nested subtotal, and aggregate function. So this one is picking a lot of things. So let's select that one. So if we hide some rows, it will not pick. If there are errors in some rows, it will not pick, or in some cells, it will not pick. Okay, and do comma, and then the next is the what? The array. Okay, so I'll start with this one. Start with 198 because we also said it will ignore subtotals or yeah, subtotals. So what I'll do is control, control shift page up and down there one step and say enter. Okay, so um oh, sorry, just a minute. Just say, okay. Yeah, just like that, right? So the the result is the same, okay? Just as we did with the what? With the sum, okay? Control B, Control B. The result is the same. So how is the aggregate function different? Okay, let's say I'll just do control up. I only want here, let's just filter. I just want to I just want the biology results. I want to know the total. Okay. And then I select OK. And then I do control down. I go to the bottom. You see what is happening? So I have filtered. Okay. So those filters, it's like we have hidden some rows. The aggregate function will not pick those rows which are hidden, right? Okay, let me undo the filtering, or let's say I just want to know the results for math or history. Okay, just to control down. You see, the sum will not change, but only the aggregate what will change. So this aggregate function will help you a lot, right? It will help you a lot. So another one, let's say, um, okay, let's say there is a formula. Let's say I want to do 20,000 divided by 0. What am I getting? I'm getting an error here. Okay, we're getting an error. Okay, so what will happen? Let's go to the bottom. Let's look at the sum function and the aggregate function. Let's see what will happen. Okay, um, for the sum function, we're getting an error, but for the aggregate, we're getting the result. Let's put another. Yes, we're getting the result. So why are we getting the result here? We said in our argument here, okay, in our argument here, we said um, number 3, ignore hidden rows, error values. So that one is an error value. Okay, that div up there is an error value, so we just ignored. Okay, so let's try to put errors here. Let's say 30,000 divided by 0. Okay, so you find that control copy. Um, if we have more error rows or more error cells, the formula here will ignore those rows, and then the total what? The total will decrease, right? Okay. 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 Yeah. So uh, wh- when we add these errors here, it means our aggregate function will not pick the errors, and as a result, this sum here will decrease. Okay. Let's say I'll copy this control, and then go down, Control Shift V. You see what has happened? Uh, at first, this was the result, and then I say minus the current result. It has decreased by what? By 230. Okay, so let's see. Um, let's put them back. Let's put them back, all the figures like that. Okay, you find that things have changed, and also on that error value there, the div. Let's put it back. Let's put the figure there and see what happens to the sum. Okay, so here is the sum, and here is the what? The aggregate. Yeah, so that's the use of the what? The aggregate function. Okay, so here if you even if you can also hide here, let's see if you hide and just look at the aggregate function. When I hide, it will decrease. This figure will decrease, but the sum will not decrease. So let's see, hide. You see, this one has decreased. The aggregate is 198,202, but the sum is 108,502. So you'll find the aggregate function quite handy, right, in your day-to-day work. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.